Some of the reveals in this chapter were ridiculous. I just want to say, one reveal that really stood out in my eyes in this chapter was that 1890 reveal of the CCG being founded by the Washu family. From that information, what we find out is that ghouls have been around in the 1800s, and probably even earlier, because the CCG was founded in 1890, but the Washu family most likely has been around for quite a long time, and so they might have been fighting ghouls in even the 1700s. So this brings up a very, very interesting question. How did ghouls come around? Are they really just a supernatural entity that's been, in this series, like it was just born? Or was ghouls still man-made? Like, we still have to question our ghouls and like a product of man-made science, people experimenting. I mean, that's always been like discussions going on when it comes to Tokyo Ghoul. I've always seen, discussions either ghouls are a separate supernatural entity in the series or they're man-made. That's usually what, a lot of conversations about this topic go along with, but finding out that ghouls have been around in the 1800s, early 1800s, like the late 1800s CCG was founded, and we got to assume that the ghouls were around probably early 1800s fighting the Washu family, and probably other different families and stuff like that. But what's even more surprising from this chapter was that the Washu family was actually fighting ghouls, it looks like, with just katanas, like samurais in the past could fight. So this really reveals a massive plot point. That means ghouls have been around for a long time. That means there's ancient families, ancient families of ghouls most likely still standing somewhere out in the world. And that right there was like, holy shit. Like, the world building in that really just built up the world of Tokyo Ghoul even further. Like, that was some world building stuff right there. Because now we know the ghouls have been around for that long. That means there could possibly be royal families, high prestige families, somewhere renowned all in the world that is probably a ghoul family. It's possible. And so thinking about that, I'm like, oh shit. So that's a crazy reveal. And now we also get a little bit of backstory on Matsuri. I think that's the dude's name. I think I got it correct. Matsuri was introduced in this chapter. Technically, he was introduced on chapter 11, but he was really shown in action in this chapter, and we finally find out some backstory on him in Tokyo Ghoul Ray. For instance, this dude, Matsuri Washu, he's a very extreme elitist. Washu. Like, he's an elitist. And he, straight up, he wants results, as I can see. And also, he is one that is willing to sacrifice as many people as he can. Like, he'll sacrifice 100 of his men if he can produce great results. And so, he is that type of person. He is willing to sacrifice everybody as if they're chess pieces, pawns, whatever, to accomplish his goal, his results. And this, in turn, is going to lead into something interesting in the future, because we know how Kaneki is, or Sasuke. We know how he is. And having this dude Matsuri that's willing to just sacrifice people, even probably sacrifice Kaneki, and, Shirazu, Saiko, Urei, and, just Mutsuki, we know for a fact this dude is most likely willing to sacrifice them. And he's setting up Mutsuki on this pedestal to where she can actually get killed. Because in the chapter, Mutsuki is in a spot. She has to go to the auction. She is the main key star player in this operation. She's having to infiltrate into this auction on November 11th, which actually, I want to take a moment to say something real quick. I do not take credit for what I'm about to say. A couple Chibis let me know about it, so I just wanted to share it with all of you. So apparently, I did not realize it, but if you start thinking about it, it actually makes a lot of sense, and I'm thankful that a lot of Chibis pointed that out, since November 11th is the upcoming auction, okay? That's when the auction's going to take place, and we know how Ishida is when it comes to his foreshadowing, his setup, and stuff like that. We know for a fact, most likely, this, date, November 11th, is not been revealed just to be revealed out of nowhere. Like, Ishida does not reveal a date unless it's important. He doesn't. And we also know what Clown is doing. Like, last chapter, what Clown said. Specific dialogues in that chapter stated like they wanted to kill Haizane. And also, at the exact same time, they wanted to do that at the auction. November 11th, auction. Now, let's go even deeper into these details. What actual holiday or Memorial Day is on November 11th? Remembrance Day. Now, if you know what Remembrance Day is, then you will probably be shocked to figure out, like, what is that day supposed to really mean to Kaneki? death. Remembering. Get it? Remembrance Day? So, that's pretty fucking shocking. That foreshadowing Ishida, I like that. I like that. So, now that I can move past that, that wasn't my actual theory. I just want to say it real quick. That was a couple of Chibis pointing that out. So, anyways, back on to the topic what I want to discuss about this chapter. So, the Washu family, or Matsuri, he's willing to sacrifice anyone, and he's setting up Mitsuki on this pedestal to where she can be killed. And with this aspect, she most likely is going to die. She has a lot of death flags, or he has a lot of death flags. Like, Mitsuki, yeah, girl, boy, what the fuck? I'm just gonna say Mitsuki, okay? But Mitsuki, she is being set up on this pedestal to be killed. And Matsuri's gonna let it happen. So, Juzo actually is going to intervene. Like, in this chapter, oh, I love that face. I love that face of Juzo in this chapter. Like, when you see, after, like, the entire conversation with Matsuri, when he's, like, saying, okay, yeah, you could go with Mitsuki, and you could be her, like, you know, friend or whatever, a fake friend, and help her out in the auction. Juzo's face. He had that rape face on. You know what that rape face meant? He's coming after Big Madam. He's coming after her. He's gonna wreck her. Because oh, it's revenge. It's fucking revenge. Juzo's getting his revenge. And so, to see that, I'm like, oh, Juzo, man. Juzo. Oh, he's gonna be pretty pissed off when he sees Big Madam. He's probably just gonna go on a rampage and attack her anyways. Doesn't matter if the, you know, freaking infiltration or whatever goes correct or not. He's probably just gonna go in there and fucking attack Big Madam if he sees her. So, past that, there is one thing in this chapter that was really out of place, and I want to mention it because I know for a fact it most likely means a lot. There was a book Kaneki or Sasaki was holding in this chapter, and this book is very skinny, looks very little, but the title of the book is what really stands out. Now, most likely you will not understand the importance of this book unless you really know the actual author's name of Tokyo Ghoul. The author of Tokyo Ghoul is Sui Ishida. I think I said, you know, his first name right. It's S-U-I. It's Sui Ishida. And that actually, the book had his first name, or, you know, his name on it. And I'm like, whoa, why does that book have the mangaka's name on it? No, that's not there just to be there. Like, no, a mangaka like Ishida does not put his name on something like that unless it's important, and the main character holding it at that. So, I wonder what that book has inside of it, because we do know books are a key element of foreshadowing when it comes to this series. We do know that. For instance, we remember what happened with the last book with Etto. And speaking of Etto, she appears at the end of this chapter, and I'm like, fuck yes, yes! So, we have Etto. Etto! Oh, Etto, man. The crazy yandere best yandere girl. There we go. Etto. Oh, damn. So, Ayato and Etto are pretty much having a conversation. They're going off to have a meeting at Ogiri Tree. So, Etto has been revealed. So, Etto might start moving very soon. Maybe even at the auction. Oh, dude. I really want to see that shit. That'd be fucking epic. Epic. So, let's see. Other segments of each chapter. We also have, Ure. Ure actually is fine with his surgery. Like, he's, you know, goes past his surgery, and he's just now in the hospital resting. And so, Ure, we don't know technically what really changed. He most likely, you know, he got his, you know, fortification walls, you know, put down, and most likely his ghoul powers have increased. But we don't know necessarily if he has lost himself to the ghoul side yet or not. We don't know. We'll have to see how that goes there. But Ure most likely is going to play a major role later on in the future. And also, Psycho. I love it how they're trying to add these little slight hints between Psycho and Kaneki. I'm liking these hints she is doing. At the exact same time, I'm not liking it, because it's starting to make me think about a couple things. Psycho, as I said in my last chapter review, she is very similar to Kaneki. Very, very, very similar. Like, it is really similar, those two characters, besides the mothers. And Psycho, in this episode, had a little bit of a connection with Kaneki. It doesn't seem like much, but she was asking for her ears to be cleaned by Kaneki. It doesn't seem like that's much at all, but Ishida's adding these little connections between these two characters, and I'm like, oh, shit. Because I was thinking about it. I was really, really thinking about the last chapter, and I was thinking about, okay, so what is Psycho's importance? Why would Ishida go in detail with Psycho's past like that? Like, one of the first characters to go into the past of Tokyo Ghoul Ray. And then after thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute, let's backpedal real quick. Let's go to the final chapter of Tokyo Ghoul Part 1. Tokyo Ghoul Part 1, the final chapter. Don't you remember what someone said in the final chapter? Let's make another Kaneki. So, what if these Quinkis get turned into another Kaneki? Think about that. Think about that. Or what if, you know, Psycho gets turned into a Kaneki? Or Ure. Ure also could be set up for another Kaneki. Think about that. Yeah, that foreshadowing Ishida just did. So, holy shit. Overall, great chapter. Fucking amazing. Great reveals. Finding out ghouls, early 1800s. Ridiculous. How do you feel about that? I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.